had a very interesting weekend. It was very draining, but I learned a few things. I learned that it doesn't matter how old you are, how old you get. Well, for me at least, that those little when your parents tell you to stay out of their bedroom, don't touch this, don't touch that, stays with you regardless if they're cleaning out my mother's room. She's been gone for a year and a half. Finally got in there, bagged up. I washed her clothes, have them bagged up and ready to go donate. I want her clothes to go somewhere that people will use them. She has some really nice clothes, things that weren't really used. But I am going to make a quilt out of some of her more memorable shirts. But still, awkwardness of going through your parents' belongings. Some of those things that you're told, don't touch, don't go near, whatever. My dad has been gone for 6.5 years, and it took me a while to not have his voice in my head when I went near his tools. And yeah, you guys were right. I don't put things back to where they should be. I'm getting better. I am actually getting really better at it. But going through the stuff, I find like newspaper clippings, found my dad's yearbook. I found my mom's. I found some documents. I found some pictures. You go through some and you find some pictures that were a part of your life growing up. They were up on the walls until whatever they became too old and obsolete that, whatever. I have my mom's yearbooks up in my room, but I found my dad's in their room. Found a lot of stuff in their room. Came across some pictures and I tried to ask my aunts about it. They're like, "Oh, we don't know." Then I found some documents. That, let's just say, how every family has those stories. This is no different, but this is like adding on to the other stuff that I don't tell very much about. But I don't know. I don't know if these people are still alive. That's the whole thing. So I was told when I was younger, or whatever, that my grandmother had another daughter. I'm not sure if they said it was out of wedlock or grandma was married before. Grandma was in a relationship. She had a baby, but the baby was raised by her mother. So my great grandmother, out of state. So my grandmother was referred to as this baby's aunt instead of mother or sister. But my grandmother was an adult. So didn't quite add up. And then I find everything. Newspaper clippings, letters, newspaper, reporters. Apparently, my grandma got around. And my grandma has some checkered past. She could have gotten bad trouble for this, but statute of limitations. Apparently, she kidnapped the youngest daughter, took her out of state to her mother, who was living in a different state across the country, and they ended up adopting her. I think her adoption was finalized when she was 9 years old or something. And the biological dad did what he could with the money that he had. He made it on his limit, but he had 2 kids at home. He didn't know what was going on. He found out that she was cheating on him. Yada, yada, yada. We got divorced and he got custody of both those kids. Fast forward, she finds out she's adopted by her grandmother. I think she meets her bio mom and she meets her bio dad or listens to it, but she was told her bio dad didn't want her. Told a totally different story. He thought she was dead. And yeah, this aunt I know, I've known her when we were younger. We lived near her. We ran her business. We were going to move out of state with her, but whatever. I knew her husband, my cousins. Yeah, I knew that. That was a little bit more than I was prepared for. I'm like, holy shit. Maury Povich and Oprah Winfrey both wanted to have stories with him. Which is funny because the house I live in had a story their relationship was really weird. So they were on a show called Jenny. I forget, I don't know if it was the first name and last name, but there was a talk show called Jenny. They did a lot of these weird shows. It was more of like child bride kind of thing. But anyway, that was interesting to find out. And then I found out or learned some wounds don't heal as quickly as you want them to. Even though you're in a room full of familiar faces, you can still feel like stranger, the odd one out. And it hurts still. But, new week. Got some things done. My garden's growing. Take care of yourselves.